No, she said. Of course they said no. What did you expect them to say? And she walked off. This was my manager. She was bringing me the news from the management committee. She was telling me they said no to me planting a summer garden for our residents. I felt like someone punched me in the stomach. I was absolutely sick. Who says no to the garden? Who says no to the flowers? Who says no to the elderly residents with dementia? I went home that day and I made a decision. I am going to stand against this. I'm going to do what I feel is right thing to do. We have already deprived these residents of bringing fresh plants indoors because it was labeled dangerous for their health. I wasn't going to have that in the garden. I planned this sensory garden for them with all the different herbs. So as we would walk through the garden, if we brush against the lavender plant or the rosemary bush, they could feel the scents of these things. And I was having aromatherapy oils in our one-to-one sessions with them. We would reminisce with these scents. And we were talking about mint and about things that they remember from the past. They couldn't place themselves in the time frame, but they had memories. And those memories were connected always with their senses. So sense and visual excitement of the plants and flowers, which they appreciated so much, was so important for me to bring back to them. I decided to work quietly and to work behind the scenes. I collaborated with a few of my colleagues who were generous enough to volunteer their time for this project. We worked evenings after the work was done and everybody went home. We then came into the garden and plotted where everything will be planted. I decided to finance this project myself. And on that lunchtime break, I went to the garden center with one of my colleagues and we brought a car full of little plants. And I even bought them 2 Acer trees to plant. They were small trees like that. And we were going to plant them in the garden. So that evening, as we were planting the plants, I see a member of the management committee walking straight down the path to me. And I thought, uh-oh, here we go. I knew that I had the possibility to make this turn really, really good, or let it turn bad. And when she approached me, she was the lady who was in charge with the finances for the whole care home. And when I worked there for 3 years, we didn't have a single pay rise because this was a difficult time financially for the care home. And I appreciated that. So when she approached, I addressed her and I said, would you please allow me just to tell you my case? I said, I decided that this project, the summer garden for our residents, must go on. And I am happy to finance it from my own pocket. I bought these plants and I was showing her everything and telling her about the plans. And I said, I just couldn't accept no as a decision for this. I said it was way too important for me to see them happy, to accept the no. And I actually finished by quotation. I said to her that I live my life, and this is true, by this wonderful Chinese proverb, which is ancient and so very true. The proverb says, if you have only 2 coins left in your purse, with 1 coin you should buy bread, and with the other one a bunch of lilies. A bread to nourish your body, and lilies for your soul. When I told her that, both her and I had tears in our eyes. And she said to me, Katarina, I came here just to tell you that I love your project, and that management committee would have said yes if this was asked of us. I assure you that no matter what you have been told, nobody came to us to ask us whether or not we approve of the garden. So she asked me for all of the receipts and said that the care home would finance this garden project, and she was fully on board, as was the entire management committee. So I realized I placed my faith entirely in one person, the one person who was above me but was answering to them, because my manager obviously had personal differences and disagreements with them. She let that interfere with her better judgment, and I am happy that I didn't let that interfere with my better judgment, and that I brought this to light. And we have had happiest summer that year in that garden. And when I left that job and went back for visits, I was so happy to note that those Acer trees are now big, they're as tall as I am, and that residents have their summer garden.